All right, what is up, guys? How we doing today? I hope you guys are having a great Friday. I meant to get a couple more videos out this week, but I just could not squeeze them in. But this one was important. I meant to do this on either Tuesday or Wednesday when this was launched. So anyway, I'll talk about it. As far as drip goes, the price is still sitting around 31 cents. So we saw a dip. It's been kind of back and forth because we've been waiting for a countdown. Forex just came out with an announcement earlier this morning that talked about the progress they've been making. I've talked to a couple people that are in the Dow, and they've been saying they've been doing a lot of testing and everything on Triple D. So it is all happening in the background. The announcement that Forex made earlier this morning just talked about how there was a big section of the code that needed to be rewritten and everything. Obviously, Forex didn't, and his team didn't create the initial contracts. I think it was over with Josh. So I think, to be honest, Josh deserves some praise from getting the ball rolling, getting it started, having the concept, and taking the initiative to build it. I think we're just in that period where he had to hand it over to Forex's team and they had to redo some of the stuff. But in the end, none of that matters. It sounds like the testing is getting pretty close to getting complete. I really don't know what that means. We could potentially see this thing next Tuesday or Thursday, or it could even be the week after that. But from what I've heard from the people in the Dow, it looks like it's super close and they're just working on fine-tuning some of the issues. So while Triple D is not going to boost up the drip price a ton quite yet, this actually has the potential to have a major impact on the drip price. So let's check it out. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Spritz. Spritz is my go-to off-ramp. So if I want to send money to my bank account, I use Spritz. And if I want to pay any bills, I use Spritz. It's honestly a no-brainer. The fees are super low. I think the most I really ever pay is about 1.5%. I think the total it possibly could be is like up to 2%, but I think my average is like 1.5%. And then a tiny little gas fee. I'll pay an extra 10 or 15 cents in gas to make that transaction happen. Now, Spritz being a bill pay service and a crypto off-ramp, that's fantastic. Right now, it is available in the US. They're branching out to some other countries. It's probably going to be to Q3 to Q4 before that happens. So if you're in the US, which I think about half of my viewers are, then you should definitely be using Spritz. In my opinion, it's fantastic. And for the other half of you guys, hopefully Spritz will be coming to your area soon. But this is an opportunity to actually shill Spritz, even if you can't use it personally, because it's really going to help impact the drip price. So Spritz just launched its community rewards program. Let me see if I can bring up the slide here. And let me adjust myself to get me out of the window so you guys can actually see the stuff you care about. Hopefully I'm still in the frame there. But the community rewards program is pretty interesting. We're going to go over it. The most important thing here is this is real world utility, and you don't actually have to sell drip for it to benefit the drip price. Any transaction you do in any currency on Spritz will benefit the drip price. Now, how do they do that? Obviously, when you use Spritz, you got to connect your wallet, right? You're paying your bills with crypto. That crypto is sitting in a wallet. You need to connect it. If that wallet has interacted with the drip contract, so if that wallet has used the faucet, then it will automatically be tagged by Spritz as a drip wallet. And every time you pay a bill or off-ramp crypto or utilize Spritz, that's going to be tallied up as a drip user, and it's going to start to build over time. So what their whole plan is if you're using Spritz and you've interacted with the faucet, any transactions that happen through Spritz from that wallet will get tallied up. All the users in the space, so the whole drip community, anyone using Spritz, they're going to take a portion of those fees that would normally be paid out probably as like referral rewards. They're going to pool all that money at the end of the month, and then they're going to do a massive buyback of drip and send it to the tax vault. So in my opinion, this is genius. It's an absolutely killer way to help the drip price. And it's a really awesome collaboration between two platforms. This is the type of stuff we need. So let's talk through the details real quick. I won't keep you too long today, but this is important. They've really broken this out into 3 sections. The first one is new Spritz user signups. So new people joining Spritz. The accounts must be created after June 1st. So obviously we're right in the middle of that period, and the reward is calculated in USD, which you can see here. So if we get new user signups to the tune of 500 new users, that's a $1,000 buyback. And if we get 1,000 users, that's a $2,500 buyback. So that's fantastic. All we need to do is really get new users in the system. I want to say that this one doesn't even require a transaction. As long as you set up a new account and connect your wallet, it will go into this total. So even if you're out of the country and you may not have the service available quite yet, might not be a bad idea just to sign up for Spritz, get in there and mess around and get tallied as a new user. The next tier, which is a big one, is transaction volume on the Spritz app. So total transaction volume that goes from the 1st of June to the end of July, so a 2-month period. $20,000 can be a $50 reward, 50, 100. $100,000 gets 200 plus a $500 bonus. I think we should easily hit that tier. It goes 250, 500, 1 million, 2.5 million, $7,500 per $1,000 bonus. So I personally use Spritz almost every day. I love the fact that I can pay my bills directly with Drip. I also don't have to use Drip if I don't want to, and I can use the BNB or BUSD or whatever I have in there as well. Lately, I've been paying a lot of bills with USDC. I got a good amount of money in, say, like Wolf Capital. The way my claim days work, I basically get to claim 3 days a week, and they're pretty decent size payouts. So all I do is go into Spritz and say, hey, here's $300 to this bill, or here's $500 to this bill, and it's pretty awesome. So for me, I'll definitely be helping with this transaction volume, and I hope a lot of you guys will too. Next up, this is big, and I think this is really where we're going to generate the most funds. We need active users of Spritz, so we need people to get in there fairly frequently and process transactions. So between June 1st and June 31st, if we have 100 active users, it's 500. All the way up to 2,000, we would get $25,000. That's in USD that would buy back Drip and send it to the tax vault. That's massive. Over a 2-month period, that's massive. So in order to be considered an active user, the user just needs to have made at least a $50 transaction, or the way this is phrased, at least $50 in transactions. So if you made 5 $10 transactions over the next month and a half, you would be considered an active user, and we can start getting these numbers up. Now, there's a lot of people in the Drip community, a lot. It would not take much at all for us to get to this 1,000 new active users, which would be a $10,000 buyback, which is pretty amazing. But with just a little push, and I'm hoping that, I know some other YouTubers out there watch my content. If you haven't seen this program or whatever, let me know. I can send you the slides if you would make content on it as well. Because if we can get a couple thousand active users, that's over the next 2 months, they got to make at least $50 in payments, $25,000 buyback, plus all these other ones, up to $30,000 or up to $35,000 on this first initiative. A $35,000 buyback directly to tax vault would be awesome. If this initiative goes well, they've committed to doing more. So it's a possibility that this could just be a monthly thing. And if we've got a lot of active users, we could be seeing a really fat buyback at the end of every month or the end of every 2 months, which could seriously help the Drip price. So I know a lot of you guys are reaching maxed wallets. Honestly, once you get to a max wallet, you have no choice but to sell. You can sell part of it, couple it up, put it in the farm. You can sell it and pay your bills with it. You can add it to a new faucet. That way you can start building that one up, assuming that the future price is gonna be much higher than it is now. But whatever it is, once you got a max wallet, you gotta make a decision. You can just let it build up, but eventually you gotta click the sell button. There is absolutely no way around it. Hopefully the price is better, and hopefully you're profitable on that transaction. But when you have to sell, when you're at that point, and I know a lot of you guys are like right at that point, consider taking some of that money and paying a bill or two with Spritz. In the end, that small little contribution to this community program could help boost us up into those higher tiers and maybe be a $35,000 buyback that goes directly to the tax vault, which would truly help the Drip price. So I thought this was cool. Shout out to Spritz. I'm going to try and have them on for an AMA. They asked me to join the Twitter space that they did the other day, but my kids got jiu-jitsu during that time, so I wasn't able to join. But I will plan to have them on the channel, so maybe you guys can ask some of these questions, because I'm sure I didn't cover everything. But you let me know what you think of the program. Let me know if you're involved with Spritz. I do have a direct link below, so check that out. I don't think it gives me any actual referral rewards or anything anymore. I believe they've paused their referral program. So use the link, get signed up at least so we've got new user signups, and consider making a transaction. If you can make $50 or more in transactions over the next month and a half, we could see a massive Drip buyback. So let me know what you guys think. Happy investing. Hope you have a great weekend.